Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 13 small business website marketing tips for beginners in 2017. So these are updated tactics. They work. They are going with the latest trends in marketing, which is basically all about user friendliness, speed, decluttering your website and things like this. And I'll show you an example of a brand that does a really good job. I'll point out 13 different things that they do correctly that you need to apply to your own website for your small business, no matter what it is you're selling. And also, I'll show you some resources and things like that to help you. I will have a separate page with all the links, resources, examples, and things like that, as well as show notes and related content to the video on selfmadesuccess.com. You can find a link to that in the video description in the first couple sentences. So don't worry about trying to find links or things like that I mentioned in the video until you go and see that page. Don't worry about trying to write all this stuff down. The first thing you want to do, the first tip, is you need to collect emails, okay? This is one of the most important things with starting a business that's online based. You need to collect emails because most people will never come back to your website. Unfortunately, when you get visitors, it's not enough because you have to collect emails. You have to collect some way of getting in contact with them in the future. Otherwise, they won't return in most cases. So most people are going to have a hard time remembering all the websites they go to. If you collect their email by giving them something for free, then you can sell to them and sell multiple things to them over time, give them promotions, give them coupons, and even send emails when you publish your latest blog post or something like that. So Digital Marketer, as an example, does a great job of collecting emails. One of the first things that you will notice is they have a pop-up on most of their pages like this. It's just a little square that pops up with an image of what they do, a headline, and some text that tells you why you want it. It's completely free. When you click order your copy, they give you a free copy, and that is in exchange for your contact information. This way they can send you promotions, sales pages, and all kinds of different things in the future. This makes it much easier to sell to people because you can get them to come back to your website once you have their email. Otherwise, they're going to forget about you. You'll be out of sight, out of mind, and they'll most likely forget which website was yours in the first place, okay? So if you just rely on people coming to your website and trying to buy something the first time they come by your website, it's not going to work. You need to collect some kind of information. So using a pop-up is a great way to do this. You're going to need two things for collecting emails with your site. The first thing, obviously, you're going to need some kind of service that collects emails and organizes them for you and allows you to market to them. So if you want to send an email to your entire list of subscribers, maybe it's a few thousand people, you can do it all at once, even automatically with a service like GetResponse. And GetResponse is very, I don't want to say cheap because that makes it seem like less quality is available. They are a very high quality service, but they're very reasonably priced. We'll put it that way. And you can start for about $15 a month, and that will allow you to get up to your first 1,000 subscribers. And if you make those count, you will easily make many times that amount, and then you will be able to upgrade as you get more subscribers and more sales for your business. But to keep people coming back to your website and actually buying something from you, you have to collect emails. That's just the name of the game when it comes to internet marketing. Also, if you want a pop-up like that comes up when people visit your website, and you want to be easy to set up and not very expensive, for a one-time payment of $25, you can get Ninja pop-ups. This is one I've been using for a long time. If you don't want to pay the monthly fee for something like Opt-in Monster or something like that, then you can get something like this if you have a WordPress site, which will allow you to create just little pop-ups like this where you can give something away for free, like an ebook or a promo code or a coupon or a free report or something like that, to collect emails and get you more sales. So if you want to pop up, that's a great choice. If you need an email marketing service, GetResponse. There's also Aweber and MailChimp, and Infusionsoft is more the higher end level, but any of those are great services, and that will allow you to get more sales. That needs to be the number one goal of your main pages of your website, okay? Get the email, then worry about sales after you get their email. Number 2, you need to use unique shareable images on your blog post. So a lot of this is about you need to create the right type of pages in your website. You need to have content if you want to rank in search engines like Google and actually get traffic to your website without just having to pay a bunch of money for ads all the time. So if you want to save money, you need to do content, which is blogging. And to do this, one of the things that will make your blog get shared on social media, which will get you a lot more traffic, is you make your images unique. See how this is a unique image? If you search on Google Images, you won't find an image like this anywhere else. So you can use, say, Fiverr.com or any other freelance website, or you can just use PowerPoint or something to create your own images and make them unique like this, and then more people will be likely to share them, okay? They'll share them on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and these unique images just kind of set you apart. They make you look more professional, and looking more professional is just as effective as getting the traffic in the first place, because it creates a good first impression and people are likely to trust that your business is actually legit. So another thing Digital Marketer does, they do custom images, and there are many different ways to do that. You can do them on your own very easily, or you can have them done for about $5 on Fiverr. Another thing is you want a centered blog post. So your blog posts need to be clean. One trend in websites these days is you'll notice that there's no longer a sidebar. You know, there used to be like a sidebar over here where it would have ads, it would have the most popular posts, it would have links and a place to subscribe and things like that over here. But they don't really do that anymore. People are realizing that many of the website visitors are going to be on mobile devices, which means your sidebar won't be seen anyway, because the mobile device has to adjust the website when people get on it, and therefore it just sees the center of the page. So they'll see the title, they'll see the image, they'll see the text, but they won't see the sidebars on mobile devices. So if half of your traffic isn't going to see it anyway, why even have it at all? Your page will load faster, and it will just look cleaner and keep the focus of the reader in the middle of the page. They either need to be reading the text or opting in to be a subscriber. Those are the two main things you want. Obviously, sharing the stuff on social media is great, but reading and opting into the email list are the two most important things. So as far as that goes, you want to keep everything centered like this and don't have any sidebar on the left or right of the page, because that just distracts the reader and makes them less likely to take the actions you want them to take. Number 4, limit share buttons. So if you give people too many choices, many times they won't make a choice at all. So you can see on this page, there's not even any share buttons. You can't even find any. Okay, this is just a regular blog post on Digital Marketer. Here's another one. They don't even have share buttons anymore at all. Now, I don't recommend getting rid of share buttons altogether, but you can do it. You can test it, It's something worth looking at. Many blogs just have 2 or 3 share buttons now. Like, for instance, you'll see a few share buttons on that image, but instead of that, they'll be, floating to the left usually of your page. So you'll have maybe a group of share buttons over here, and it'll be like Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest or something like that, depending on your business. But don't go and add just every single social media share button on your page. It'll make your page load slower, which leads to less traffic and less subscribers and less sales. It'll just give them another thing to do, which will be something that reduces your subscribers and sales. So test as much as you can of whether or not you should even have any kind of share buttons on your page. Notice how Digital Marketer, a multi-million-dollar company online, doesn't even have any. They just try to get emails and readers. That's all they care about, and then they worry about sales later in the process. Number 5, in-post lead magnets. So back to collecting emails. A lead magnet is the free thing that you give away in exchange for the email. People don't just sign in to a newsletter anymore, which would be subscribe to get our latest blog post. People don't do that anymore. Instead, you need to focus on giving something in return for the email, like a normal transaction would be. Instead of trading money for a product in this transaction, you're trading a product for an email, which will lead to sales in the future. So you'll notice they had the pop-up. Okay, we showed you the pop-up. If that doesn't work, that's going to get most of your emails by itself. But also, Digital Marketer does a great job of trying to collect emails in the first of the post and throughout the post as well. Here's another one. Another ad at the end of the post. So if you have, say, a short post, you might have one here at the beginning and one at the end here. You can do it with text. Just go to this page and you can opt in and get their lead magnet in exchange for your email. Or you can do a full image type thing like this, where it's actually something you click on an image and it's at the end of the post or something like that. That's, however you want to do it, you need to test it and see what's up to you and see what resources and time you have. If you have the money to pay somebody to create these images, or you're pretty artistic yourself, you might go ahead and do an image. You might be more likely to click it, or you might test just doing text like this one. But either way, you need to have multiple ways of collecting that email instead of relying on just a pop-up or just one of these. Another post example here, they also have it in text at the beginning of the post. Sometimes they'll even have it in the middle of the post. If it's an extra long blog post, you'll notice that there will be an ad right here. For instance, there it is. There's an app. There's one in the middle of the post. If you have a lot of text, let's say you have 1,000 words or more, you might consider putting one in the middle, and then you'll have an ad at the end of the blog post as well. So there you go. You're going to need to blog to get traffic to your website. So the next thing you're going to need to do is collect emails through that. Okay, and this is how you do it. You have a pop-up in the middle of the page like this, and then you have, depending on the length of your content, you have one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end of the post, as you can see in the few examples I've shown you. Number 6, you need to have a limited and very targeted menu. So you look at the menu of a website, people tend to forget about this. They add, their about page, they add their contact page, they add all this different stuff that doesn't need to be in the menu. They'll have a home link. You don't need to have a home link. That's what your logo is for. If you click the logo of any website, it goes to the home page, okay? So you don't need to worry about that. Instead, you need to focus on what is the most important action that they can take on my site. So first off, they're there on your site in the first place to consume content. So you need to make all your best content available in your menu. As you can see, they have a place where their blog is, so you can find their blog post easily. You can find their podcast easily. That's another form of content. If you have videos, if you have a YouTube channel, put that in your menu. Products. If people just want to get straight to buying products, they have a place where they can do that. And if you are somebody who, say, has a account with the website, you need to have it easy to log in to the page. So maybe that's what that's for. And then, you can have other things like a job board. That's another way that they can make money. Some sites have a place where you can pay $50 or so to have a job posting for a month on their website. But depending on what your small business is all about, just focus on sales, content, and subscriptions when it comes to your menu. Don't worry about your about page. You can put that in the footer. Don't worry about your contact page. That can be in the footer of your website. Don't worry about your home page as a link. That is what your logo does. So just those three things alone, you don't need to have in your menu. That can make your menu more lean, and that will make each thing that people click on your website count more towards getting sales. Okay? So that's what they do with their menu. They just have a few things, and they're all focused on either consuming content or buying products. Number 7, you need to have fast load times. You're going to lose a lot of traffic if your site loads pretty slow. A few things contribute to this. So we're looking at a random page here. Even if you go on the home page, okay, you get past these pop-ups, their home page. It's pretty lean. There's not too many pictures, not too many videos and things like that. Just about any page you find on Digital Marketer loads pretty quickly. For one thing, everything is very lean because they don't have a sidebar anymore. They don't have a bunch of background images or colors or big logos and things like that. They don't have too many ads. They don't have too many embedded media like videos and embedded tweets and things like this. So you don't need to have a lot of fancy stuff on your page. Social media share buttons also slow your site down. Another thing, you need to test your website on Pingdom, tools.pingdom.com. Okay, I'll have a link for you in the show notes, but it allows you to test from different locations around the world: Dallas, Australia, New York, California, Sweden, and you can test any single page on the website. It doesn't have to be just the overall home page. It can be just a blog post page. And most people are going to spend time on blog post pages, so you need to get it down to where they load in under 2 seconds or so. So you can see they're right around that level. It loaded in a 1.95 seconds, which means they're not going to lose a lot of people waiting on their site to load because it loads so quickly, and people expect it to load quickly. It's faster than 72% of tested sites. That's very good. If you're in the top 30% in just about anything with your website, you're doing pretty well. And you can see your performance grade. It will tell you how to improve your website's speed. This will help you hire somebody to improve this for you, or even do it yourself if you want to do it yourself and save some money. It'll tell you what you're doing right, what you could improve a little bit, and what you really need to improve a lot. Like, for instance, Digital Marketer needs to work on their browser caching. You can get a plugin for that. It shows you what needs to be cached. That's just making your files load faster. Combine JavaScript, which is basically taking files and making them load at the same time instead of individually, will speed up your site. And combine external CSS, which is similar. So then it tells you what you need to do It shows you the files, and then it shows you a page that tells you how to do it in a Google developer's tutorial. So then it also gives you percentages, each file's load time. It's extremely in depth. So test your site when you're trying to improve your speed on tools.pingdom.com, and it will tell you what you need to work on and where you're at compared to other websites. You need to get that load time in less than 2 seconds. Number 8, you need to have lots of images and bullet points. So when you're doing content, one big problem that people have is they make websites way too intimidating for people. So if you have a blog post and it's just nothing but text, you have these big paragraphs, you don't have any images, you don't have anything breaking up the text, people are not going to read that. People are actually reading less anyway, so they're going to focus more on the more enjoyable, user-friendly blogs than the ones that they don't like. So I've noticed a lot, especially on like scientific blogs and things like this where they don't have any real writing experience. They'll write a 10-sentence paragraph for each paragraph, and they won't use any bold, they won't use italics, they won't use links or headlines or anything that break up the text. So people are not going to read that. It just looks extremely boring and time consuming before they even read a word. So this is how you want to structure your text. You have 1 to 2 sentences per paragraph. You just break it up with lots of white space. You have bullet points when you're listing things. You have headlines. You'll see that they use headlines very well. They use headlines like this. Here's how it works, Facebook Messenger. So it allows people to jump to the part of the article they want to read quickly. And you want to use images because people process images 1,000 times faster than text. We are image-based human beings, so we are used to taking in visuals, not words. If you help people with images, they will be more likely to take in the information faster, and it also just breaks up the text, making it look like a better post. So incorporate images and bullet points as well as headlines to break up your text. Number 9, you need to use lengthy, in-depth content. So if you don't use a lot of text, here's the thing. Videos are great. Images are great. But if you don't use at least 1,000 words in your articles, they're most likely not going to rank. And if they don't rank, you're not going to get a lot of new traffic. And if you don't get a lot of new traffic, you're not going to get a lot of new sales. So to get more new traffic, more new visitors to your website, you want to go in depth in the content. Another reason images work, it makes it easier to explain something and show people. Videos do the same thing, but if you just have a page with a video embedded in it and you don't have any text, it's not going to rank in search engines because they go based on text. And so you're not going to get rewarded in places like Google. But if you look at all this text here, this is likely to rank for whatever keywords they're trying to rank for. This will get you some subscribers and get you some sales when you go in depth and you actually are very descriptive and you explain the entire topic in detail. All you have to do is go into detail. And Facebook Messenger ads, they're probably ranking somewhere in the top 10 for that because it goes into a lot of detail with this post. So I recommend writing 1,000 words or more within your blog post. This is an example of a shorter one, definitely not 1,000 words. It's just a video and some other things, but this one might be good if you just don't have a lot of time to write a full post. But this one is not going to rank against your competition, trust me. Number 10, you want to use less emphasis on the footer. So some people rely too much on the footer. I've noticed that. If you go to, say, their homepage, okay, so here's their footer. You don't need to even have it that easy to find, okay? So it's on the home page. That's the main thing, is you need to have it on the home page. you might want to have your contact us, you might want to have your terms and conditions page, your privacy policy, maybe your location, your copyright, all rights reserved, and things like that. Customer support, if you have that. Those are the types of things, just the legal things and stuff like that, that you might want to have in the footer. Maybe a place to find you on social media or contact you. Other than that, you really don't need anything else down there because most people are never going to get that far on your page. They're never going to look at it. Now, if you're using mostly blog posts to get most of your business traffic, one thing you can do is make it to where at the end of each blog post, it loads another one under it. So people just keep reading more and more. So see, I went down 2 blog posts already, and then it loaded the next one, download the 15-point landing page audit. So then it goes through this. And then when you get to the bottom of the page, it'll load another blog post. So that way people keep reading and they're more likely to subscribe. People are not there for your footer. They're not there to find your contact page and things like that. Usually it needs to be there, and Digital Marketer actually has a second header menu. If you look up here, you'll have a place where they can sign in to use a product, or the About Us page up here. But it doesn't need to be something that's an emphasis. You don't need to worry too much about your footer because most people will not see it. Number 11, your author box with an image and bio. So people want to know who the post is written by. If you look at pretty much any blog post, it needs to have either, if you have a sidebar, if you're one of those people that still has a sidebar, and I've seen some people do this, Neil Patel from quicksprout.com, great marketer, gets millions in traffic each year. He still has a sidebar, and he has a picture of himself over here and a bio talking about his accomplishments as a marketer and things like that. So it builds trust with his readers. There's actually a reason for that. But the thing is, half of your traffic is on mobile and they're not going to see that at all. So that kind of makes it to where you might want to do that below the post instead. So it's centered in the page. Everything really needs to be centered these days. People are getting used to websites that way, and it's a trend going towards just better user friendliness. As you can see here, Molly Pittman wrote this post. You can see a picture of what she looks like, a little bit about her. It makes her seem like a real person that you can relate to, and her credentials as well for why you should listen to what she has to write. And that's just a great way to build your brand and give people that human element to the post. You need to do this. It will build your own brand and give people a reason to trust you by actually seeing and learning about the writer and not just reading text from who knows who. You want to build trust, and they'll be more likely to buy something from you. Number 12, be consistent in your content publishing. This is something that all bloggers have to learn eventually, or even if you have like a YouTube channel or just about any type of business, you need to have a consistent schedule for putting out content, okay? Unless you're just relying completely on paid advertising, which is extremely expensive, you need to publish content, whether it's your blog, your podcast, your YouTube channel, your social media. Try to post it every other day, if not daily. Now, Digital Marketer does it every few days, like every 3 days or so, maybe 2 or 3 posts a week on their blog, which is pretty good. So if you were to post maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're doing a pretty good job. Neil Patel from QuickSprout, I mentioned him a minute ago. He does that with his marketing brand, and he gets a lot of traffic. They posted, you can see, February 10th, February 7th, February 2nd, January 31st, January 26th. So they're pretty consistent about posting every 2 to 3 days. You want to do that as well. I recommend a minimum of every 2 to 3 days. Really, I prefer when I'm advising people that you post 5 days per week, Monday through Friday at least. That will really make your results go through the roof, and you get in the habit of actually creating more content. And that way you get better at it, you build your skills in creating content, and you get more traffic. There's a lot of benefits to doing that. Last but not least, if you have a website and you're trying to market it, think about doing retargeting ads. So Amazon is a huge believer in this. Facebook has a great platform for it. You'll notice that many times when you go to Facebook, if you just visited a site that does retargeting ads, you will see an ad down here on your sidebar. So here's your sidebar. You have an ad usually around here somewhere in your sidebar. It's a square ad talking about a product that you recently were looking at on a site like Amazon, for instance. And that is something that will kind of make you remember that, hey, I was looking at this product, maybe I should go back and buy it, or maybe I should go back and opt into that email list. I kind of forgot about it. Digital Marketer does this, and they do a very good job of it. In fact, they do so good at it with Facebook marketing and getting people back to their website through advertising after they've been there once, that they actually did a complete guide to how to do it. So when it comes to Facebook ad targeting and how to get the right people and create pixels that will get people to come back to your website after they visit and they don't become a subscriber, this will help you get the most out of your ads and spend the least amount while getting the biggest return. So I definitely recommend you read through this. It will teach you how to target your perfect customer on Facebook and get them to take an action for you. So definitely one of the best guides for Facebook advertising. So if you got something from this video, if you feel like you learned something about maybe how to market your small business website a little bit as a beginner, and just a few tips that can help you, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. If there are some other strategies that you know of that are great for beginners with a business website of any kind that I didn't mention, or if you want to just let me know what you thought about the video in general, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking for feedback to improve these videos and make them better for you. And if you want to get the links, the resources, the show notes, and related content to this video, then you can go to selfmadesuccess.com and look for the post under the same name as the video, or you can just go to the first couple sentences of the video description and click it there. And then I'll have all the stuff for you to get the most from it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great